Feeling pretty good. Just followed the plan from the trainers in the off season. I'm trying to maintain that, working on strengthening and stuff like that. Feels pretty good.
At what point did you get, back on the field full, not restricted at all?
They had a plan for me in OTAs. Just followed that. I was in the red jersey. I'm just working, trying to get better, and then they're letting me go now.
So you could do everything when you went back and trained in the last 6 weeks or whatever?
They had a plan set for me. I just followed what they told me to do.
Do you have any question that on this day one, you would not be on PUP and you'd be ready, full time? Did you have any doubts that you would be ready for day one of camp?
I didn't have any doubts. I was prepared. I had the plan set. I followed it, did everything they asked me to do, and I'm here practicing today.
Andrew, when did you start? When did you lose the limp? When were you able to pass set without limping?
I don't know exactly the point in time, but it started to progress. I had some rest off when I left here after OTAs and continued doing treatment down there in Atlanta, and it started to get better.
Do you feel like this kind of nagging ankle deal is fully behind you now, or are you not going to know until you test it over the haul of a regular season game?
I think it's a day-by-day thing. I had surgery, obviously, so it's something that's going to continue. I'm going to work towards, even when it's it's feeling great. I'm still going to do my rehab and prehab, make sure it's ready for the season.
Andrew, when you're rehabbing from an injury, obviously that takes away from your training. How much did the rehab affect your training? Did you get done what you wanted to get done in the off season?
Yeah, in the early stages it's hard because early in January when I first had it, I can't run, obviously, and things like that. But when I could, I did everything I could. I worked hard. I did a lot of balance and stuff like that to recover, and then I feel like the hardest part is catching up to the plays because you can't. I learned well by being on the field, so in OTAs, not being able to run with the team, it's something to overcome. But I try to be as engaged as much as possible in the meetings.
Did you work on that stuff while you were away from the facility? Did you kind of have more of a green light to resume some of that stuff while you were training down in Atlanta or wherever you were training?
So the physical therapists that I had down there, they coordinated with the people up here. Telling me what I was restricted on, what I couldn't do, and then once I had the green light, they let me do what I need to do.
Andrew, what can you and Evan give this team this year and moving forward?
Honestly, I think our whole offensive line, we have some talented guys. It's just day one, so right now we're just trying to build that unity because that's big in the offensive line. But Evan's a very talented kid, physical freak. You know what I'm saying? So once he gets us down, he's going to be pretty good.
When you look at him, what do you see? What do you see from him?
He just works hard every day. Doesn't say much. He puts his head down. If he has a question, he'll ask it. But he just comes in and he works.
You guys don't play next to each other, but is there a bond? First round picks.
Honestly, I think the whole offensive line, we're usually a lot tighter than other groups. We spend a lot of time together. Like I said, it's just day one. But I think we're gonna go to dinner. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have a lot of time together just to build that unity.
Andrew, what's the next benchmark for you to put this nagging injury behind? Is there something that you need to see?
There's not really a benchmark. I'm just, approaching every day, just trying to win the day. Put today away, watch the film and get ready for tomorrow. That's the way I go about it.
How do you evaluate yourself when you're not in pads?
So right now, it's a little different because it's not full contact, obviously. You can't really test your anchor as much when we don't have pads on, but once we put the pads on, we'll see that.
Andrew, you had a pretty good year last year, much better obviously than the year before. You're probably a top 15 pass blocker. So what are your expectations for perhaps being one of the elite offensive left tackles in this league for this year?
Yeah, honestly, I'm just in competition with myself. There's a lot of things that I saw on film last year that I need to clean up. A lot of things I want to get better at. Once I put that on film, I think that will speak for itself.
Like what? What do you want?
So just being consistent in my set. I made jumps from rookie year to last year, but just being a lot more consistent in my hand placement, having a stronger anchor at certain times, and just being more consistent overall.
I think this is your fourth O-line coach in the third season. What is Bobby asking you to do that maybe you didn't have to do with previous O-line coach? Any major adjustments? So
the scheme is a little different. The way we approach it is just a little more aggressive on our sets. Some of my previous coaches, we had a little more of a vertical set. And in the run game, the footwork is a little different, but the mentality is still, to be physical, to be dominant up front.
Is playing next to Shane just like getting back on the bike, or is there a readjustment period you have to go through again?
Nah, me and Shane, we built up some camaraderie, playing together. We understand each other a little bit on the field, so sometimes we don't have to communicate. It just works well.
What do you not been in pads yet, you know, obviously. But do you get a sense, you know what the offensive line deal has been around here for a while, and even before you were here, do you feel that this line will be what Giant fans and what the Giants themselves need?
We're taking it one day at a time. Like I said, we have some talented guys in the room, but it's just day one. So we're just working, still trying to get the playbook down, figure out our technique that coach is teaching us, and just trying to be as good as possible.
What do you think this line can be, though? I mean, with this group, what's the goal for you guys?
I mean, the goal is to be dominant, you know, to be the bell cows of the offense, lead the guys, protect DJ so he can make, you know, throws to all the playmakers. That's the goal.
How do you get there?
Take 2 more questions.
How do you get there to being dominant?
Well, just the beginning, like I said, just the technique aspect of it, just learning the plays, camaraderie, like I talked about earlier, taking them one day at a time, because there's a lot of new guys coming together. So one day at a time, extra meeting time, whatever we can do to get better.
How did you
You're
think the
really
offense
the only,
did today?
you're really the only holdover on this offensive line. Do you feel like this is your offensive line, that you're the leader of this group?
Not necessarily that it's my offensive line, but this year I am trying to take more of a leadership role. Just, you know, it was a little harder in OTAs not being out there, but when I'm out there now, just trying to be a little bit more vocal and lead with, you know, how I practice.
How did you think the offense did today?
I think for the first day, pretty good. Some things to clean up definitely, but we didn't even have meetings this morning, so for the first day, I think pretty good.